Well, South Dakota, a tough one Saturday at Montana, as they knew it would be, as you're taking on the number 3 team in the country at their place. And, Bob, this was going to be the kind of game where you were going to need a superior effort from the start. Unfortunately, you didn't get it in all three phases. Defense gives up the big play for the second straight week on the first snap of the game, and, you're almost working uphill from that. They scored 5 plays later, and just like that, you're in a hole.
Yeah, deja vu. First play of the game, a big play. We miss a tackle in the secondary, and right away they're in the red zone, and they were able to finish that drive, and we went down 7-0. Which on the road, particularly at a place like Montana with a sellout crowd and the environment that they create there is a difficult place to be.
Yeah, that was every bit as intense as advertised. There's no doubt about it. You knew what you were getting into with Lucas Johnson, of course, dual threat guy, and he showed you that he's a dual threat guy.
Yeah, he made big plays with his feet, big plays with his feet. In all of their scoring drives. I thought, overall, we did some really good things defensively. Played hard, played till the end. But between his timely runs and that big play to start the game, they were able to put up some points, which we knew they would. We just couldn't match that offensively.
I mean, as you look at the defense's performance as a whole, it was kind of a rough first quarter, including that first play like you mentioned. They gave up 143 yards in that opening frame, but just 207 spread out over the last 3 quarters. For the second straight week, I really felt like, they wobbled a little at the beginning, but they really found themselves and settled in nicely.
I think Coach Johansson and the staff, wasn't that you make a lot of adjustments. It's just, number one, kind of adapting to what you're seeing, and our guys settled in and played good defense. We forced a couple of turnovers, got a big 4th down stop the one time, and those are the kind of things that, from a defensive standpoint, we're going to need as we move forward during the season.
You mentioned that 4th down stop, and that brings me to the one individual I really wanted to highlight on that side of the ball. Stephen Hill has had his best day as a Coyote. 15 tackles, a career high for him. He's really playing good football for you this fall.
He's playing at a really high level. A guy that we had very high hopes for, a guy that maybe hasn't seen as much playing time over the last couple of years as he probably may have liked, but has just kept working, kept improving, and now become one of the real signatures on that defensive unit.
On the other side, unfortunately, second straight week, the offense struggles to move the football with any kind of consistency. You end up with 209 total yards. Got a little bit of momentum there as the fourth quarter wore on. Got into the end zone for the first time this year on a 25-yard touchdown run from Travis Tice. But what's missing or what's not clicking right now? Granted, the level of competition has been intense thus far, but it feels like maybe some things that normally would be there just haven't been so far.
Yeah, well, we've played really good defensive football teams. Montana had a shutout their first week. Obviously, you saw what Kansas State did to shut down Missouri this last week. At the same time, we just haven't been consistent. We've not capitalized on some big play opportunities that we've had, but more than that, we've gotten ourselves off schedule a lot, and that's due to the fact that we just haven't consistently executed. I think we need to do a better job of getting Carson into the flow of the game early. We got into a little bit of pressing the ball downfield too much, even though we had some opportunities, and as a result got into 3rd and off schedule, which against Montana's defense is not a good place to be.
Does that little bit of momentum help you going into this week against Cal Poly, just to have that, to hang your hat on, the things you were able to do a little bit later in that game?
Well, I think we got the run game going, and something that we have to lean on. I think, when we get the run game going, it really helps our passing game, and being able to maybe create a little bit more space for some of those shot plays. And so I thought Travis Tice ran really hard, particularly in those last couple of drives when we leaned on him a little bit. And so as we head into this week, it's got to be a combination of continuing to build on the success of that running game and finding more ways to be successful throwing the football.